Milwaukee just dropped a brand new M18 Fuel Circular Saw. But is it actually worth upgrading? The new saw promises more power, deeper cuts, and better performance. But how much better? And is it really time to ditch your previous generation? Stick around because we're putting new against old, and you need to see the final results before making your next tool investment. We're getting started right after this message from our sponsor, VCG Construction. Want to help out with the channel? Then head on over to the merch store. You can get hats, hoodies, t-shirts. Link will be in the description below. This is the 283421 HD, the latest in Milwaukee's M18 Fuel Circular Saw lineup. And Milwaukee says this thing is a beast. More power, deeper cuts, and refined ergonomics. But is that just marketing hype? Or is this really the next level up you've been waiting for? Before you make any buying decisions, let's break it all down. Power, handling, depth of cut, and of course, real-world performance. Because by the end of this video, you will know whether this upgrade is actually worth it for you. Let's talk power. The new 283421 HD, this is Gen 2 Sidewinder, boasts an upgraded power state brushless motor, cranking out an impressive 6,000 RPM. That's a bump up from 5,800 RPM on the previous model. But here's the real question. Does that extra 200 RPM actually make a difference? More speed should mean smoother, faster cuts, but what happens under load? Milwaukee says this new saw holds power more efficiently and resists bogging down better than its predecessor. We're going to put that to the test later in this video, so stay tuned. One of the most noticeable changes is the balance. Milwaukee reworked the weight distribution, making the 283421 HD feel a little more stable in your hands. Less vibration, better control, especially when you're making long, precise cuts. If you've ever spent hours on the job site running a circular saw, you know that even small improvements in handling make a big difference. But is that enough to justify an upgrade? Hold that thought, because the next feature might tip the scales. This is where things get interesting. Here's a big improvement that Milwaukee fans will appreciate: the depth of cut. The older generation maxes out at around 2.5 inches, but the new model gives you a full 2 5/8 inches. The extra 1/8 inch might not sound like much, but when you're dealing with thicker materials, that could mean the difference between a single pass or a second cut. And if time is money, the second cut is going to cost you. You can see here, looks like Milwaukee tools exceeding that 2 5/8 rating. It almost looked like we're at 2 11/16. We're gonna test depth of cut at 45 degrees. That bevel stop, pretty handy. So you can see at 45 degrees, we're at like 2 1/16 inches. Let's talk about blade and cut quality. Does the blade make a difference? Of course, the saw is only as good as the blade it's running. The 283421 HD comes with an upgraded wide curve carbide tipped blade, engineered for cleaner, more precise cuts, less chipping, longer lifespan, and smoother operation. But let's be real, most of us swap out the factory blade anyway. So while Milwaukee has improved the stock options, is it a major selling point? Maybe not. Now, let's get into the #1 thing everyone wants to know. Here's something that really got us thinking. The 283421 HD comes with Milwaukee's brand new REDLITHIUM forged HD 12.0 battery. Sounds impressive, right? But here's the catch. Milwaukee claims that the outgoing generation, which ran the REDLITHIUM high output HD 12.0 battery, delivers the same 750 cuts per charge. Wait a second, a newer upgraded battery on a newer upgraded saw, and yet no increase in runtime? What's going on here? Well, we have a few theories. Number one, is the new saw just more efficient? Maybe Milwaukee dialed the motor efficiency on this new saw so that even with a higher 6,000 RPM, it's using power more efficiently. That could explain why we're not seeing a bump in cuts per charge. It's not sucking more juice to get the job done. Theory number two, is the battery upgrade more about charging in heat? Or maybe it's not about more cuts per charge, but about how the battery performs over time. The new forged battery is supposed to charge faster and run cooler. So maybe Milwaukee focused on keeping performance more consistent instead of just chasing bigger numbers. Because let's be real, what good is a higher cut count if your saw is overheating and your battery is taking forever to recharge? Could this be Milwaukee's way of giving us better long-term performance instead of just inflating the numbers? Here's another thought. What if the saw itself is the limiting factor and not the battery? Maybe no matter how much power you throw at it, Milwaukee already optimized these tools to get 750 cuts per charge. So even with the newer battery, that's just where the ceiling is. If that's the case, then the forged battery isn't about giving us more cuts. It's about making sure the power stays strong, the performance doesn't dip, and we spend less time waiting on a recharge. So here's the big question. Does it even matter that we're not seeing more cuts per charge? Well, if you're upgrading to the 283421 HD, you're getting a faster charging, better heat managed, more efficient system overall. But if you already have the previous generation and it's getting the same runtime, is that enough to make you switch? If you're coming from the standard M18 circular saw and you want all the benefits of fuel and forged batteries, yeah, this is a no-brainer. But personally, if you have the previous generation and want the benefits of forged, buy a new battery. But I want to know what you think. Is this just smart power management, or are you expecting more? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're super early to this video, make sure you join the notification squad by also commenting first. And if you are indeed first, you will be nominated for an illustrious title and possibly receive an award. With that, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thanks a lot, everybody. I hope to see you all on the next one.